So the table view, GUI table view is the class. Table, we can understand what it means by table. It is a collection of rows and columns. Here the table view can have more columns, more rows with single column. So can have more rows with a single column. That is the one which we can talk about table view. Similarly, how we construct one collection view. So how we designed one scroll view, or how we designed one picker view. Similarly, to design a table view, there are two protocols are supported. One is UI table view data source, and second one is UI table view delegate. These are the two protocols which use to make a table view design or to work with the table views. So I said rows and a column. So the column will be used to present the data. The data presentation table view will works with UI table view cell. UI table view cell. So this is the API class. So this cell is designed. So in general, cell is designed and for displaying data on table view. Here we will call this cell will looks like a column for table view. For example, this is like your table view. This can have this is one row, the second row, third row, you can have 4 rows. It's a 4 rows table view. For example, let's say this is a 4 rows table view. It's a 4 rows table view. So each row the data will be displayed with one table view cell. This will call as like a table view cell. So this is a table view cell, and the entire one is called as like a section, the whole one. Table view section. So this we can say like this is table view section. So the background we call it as like a, the whole thing will be your table view. The whole thing will be your table view. So this is your complete table view. So this is your cell, this is your section. So here we have 4 rows. This we will call it like a row. So each one will call this as like your row. We will call this as a row. For example, if you want to see how table looks, you can see something which is workable. We can see a simple design. Here, this is a table view. The individual one is called as a row. The design which binds is called cell. This is one cell. If you can see the whole one, we can say like this is the table view. And A is one section and the B starts with another section. So we can call this as like a table view. You can see something. Now if you go for music and playlist, this is the whole one is one row. We can call it as like a this is one section. Recently added is one section, album is another section. So this section is having multiple rows. So each row is having 3 plus 3 some 7 columns, something like that. Here also you can see that this is the whole thing is like a row. The data which is designed is in the like called as column. This is one table view cell. This is second cell, third cell. So each one is like one cell. So collectively we'll call as like a rows. So the all rows are in one section. The whole thing is right now is in a single section. If you filter by album, now it's become individual sections. So this is one section. So all albums is another section. So we can see now it's divided into two sections. This whole one is one section. This is one section. So we can say like by default the table view comes with a one section. Now this is one section with number of rows. Each row is designed with one table view cell. So this is the combination. If I want the two sections, then again you can extend this with another section. So we extended with another section. Now I want some more rows. We can add it. So this is another section. This is one section. Two sections. The first section is having 4 rows. The second section is having 2 rows. This is one section. We'll call this like a section. Table section. So this is like individual cell design. The design will be cell, so we call it like a rows, as I said. So the table view style can be plain table view, standard table view. It's called like a default table view, or else we call it like a grouped table view. So grouped table view means each section will become as individual group. Like there is some gap between one section to another section. So style of presentation is different. So this is like a table view, how it looks like. So by default we'll have a one section. So there is a cell design. So the cell can be designed in different ways. So the cell can have a, this is like one image, and it contains a label. This is like your text label or title label, whatever you call, and it can have one description label, subtitle. One is title and the second one is subtitle, and it can have one accessory button. It can have one accessory button, something it can have one accessory. so which gives that some button, so you can get that the entire cell can have a will have one more view. On top of the view will be one image, one title, one subtitle, and accessory button. So this table view cell can fill with a different background. On selection you can give one color, or normal state you can give one color, something like that. You can change it. For each row by row you can make a separator. You can separate with a line or a dashed line or straight line. So there are different styles are there. So this is about a table view, how it looks. So now if you want to design a table view, you have to inherit these protocols. So let's see how a table view get designed. Create a table view, single view application, table view demo. Now we are started with so there are different things we have. So we have already a table view demo. Let's copy some code from them. So how a table view is designed, this is let's see how a table view is get designed. So you can design a table view. So first our principle is how you want to design. Let's create a table view design. So we had two arrays which are used to fill the data in a table view. So we use two arrays, one is for songs and one is for views. So now if you want to design any table view, so what we have done is like declared a table view with frame. So what's the area you want, and you can initialize with a style. I said it's a plain or grouped. We use plain. The second thing, so you are already aware of. If you want to design, then you have to override these things, data source and delegate. So now we override. So there are some required methods in a table view data source. The first thing, how many rows you want, number of rows in a section. So how many you want. So I want a table. First you have to specify the number of rows in a section. Let's specify. You can give the height of a table view, and you can do many things. Let's do what we can do with it, function by function. So now we have one so we have certain methods. This is for section. Each section can have a title and footer. So how much height you want, you can customize. What's the title you want to give as a section, so you can give a section title. And if you want to give a title for footer, you needs to override this method and return a title for the footer. How many sections you want in your current table. So whatever this array is having, the count. If the array is having 3 movies, then my sections are 3. So how many rows you want. So whatever the array of songs is having, so I need those many rows for each section. If the section is 1 or 2 or 3, for each section will have the number of rows. So now the time comes to design your cell. So in order to design a cell, there is a method called cell for row at index path. So this you needs to override. This method will be used to design a table view cell to display the data on table view. So table view cell, I used one custom table view. So or else you can use UI table view cell. Customize in the sense it's a subclass of table view cell. Let's just for time being remove it. And whenever you define, you have to give the table view cell style, and after that you have to do what you want. And as I said, it's having one title. It's nothing but text label. So this is for title, and detail label is nothing but your subtitle. And I said there is an image, so you can attach your image if you want to display on your table view cell. So I used image. And if you want to specify accessory button, you can use a property called accessory type of the table view cell, and you can use it. So you can set a background color, you can set a normal view. So on selection of a cell, if you want to give some different color, and you have to give a select background color, set background color. For state, it's a normal background view, selected background view. If the user selected, the view background color is green. If in a normal mode, so when we display that table view cell, the background color is yellow. So this method you have to use cell for row index path if you want to design it. So what is this DQ reusable cell with identifier? So this line, so we have in a conditionally we allocated the memory. So when your table is having 100 rows, so we won't create 100 memory objects, like we won't allocate memory for 100 cells. So whatever a view is visible, if the view is presented with 6 rows inside a frame, so we allocate 6 memory allocations. Even if the table view wants to present 100 objects, the 100 objects will be presented within a 6 frames. So if you scroll, the frames will be refreshed with new data. So means we are reloading the data. We are not creating memory allocations for 100 cells. We created 6 cells. The 6 cells we are reloading the data on based on the page. So this is like your scroll view will get updated inside of it. So we use that DQ reusable cell with identifier. So it's one double-ended queue. DQ, you might aware of it in data structures. So it's like a double-ended queue reusable cell with identifier. So we'll check that with the constant. So we use one constant value for each cell needs to identify from the memory. So whether that cell is having a memory allocation or not for that specific index path. So here index path, you can see one more class. So this index path will identify this cell is of which section and in which row. So it gives you the representation regarding to the cell, whether the cell is related to section 0 or section 1. If it is section 0, which row it was. You can get the section and row identifier of the cell with the help of NS index path. The NS index path is having two properties, one is section, one is row. If you use an index path dot section, it returns the current section of the cell. If we use index path dot row, it returns the current row number of the specific section of the cell. So such a way you can able to identify, the section and row of the specific cell on a table view with the help of NS index path API class. So if you design this and if you return the cell will be presented on your table view. If you want to change the height of a table view row, so you have to override this method, height for row index path. So this is the height of your cell. This is the height of your section title. So when we talk about section, so section can have a title and footer. So what footer height you need, what title for header, what title for footer. By default it's having some height, some 44 pixel it might take as a height for the footer and header, and as well as row height as well. So if you want to customize, then you have to override these methods and needs to pass the values which we expect to present on table view. So these things we'll talk about later. First of all, we'll see whether this table view is designed or not. Run this. Now you can able to see movie 0. This is my section 1 with the title movie 0. How many rows it's having? 3 plus 3, 6. So this is my, now you can see the table view background is, all cells are filled with a color of yellow color. It's a normal state. I selected. Now this is my cell. This cell is changed to green color because when I designed this table view cell, I designed the configuration such a way, if you select, the background is green. If you normal, the background is yellow color. So that I applied to cell. The cell having two properties, selected background view and normal background view. So we taken one views and attached as a background view for normal mode and selected mode. Whatever that applies, so that you will get the same. Here you can see that. So if you scroll, it will get reloaded. Whenever you scroll, your table view will get refreshed. So how many rows we have? How many sections we have? We have 9 sections. Overall is 10 sections we have, 0 to 9. So 10 sections. Each section is having 10 rows. Not 10 rows. Some of the sections are having 10 rows. Some of the sections are having. So all sections are having 10 rows. We pass the number of rows for a section is 10. So all sections are having 10 rows. So you can see that movie 1, movie 2. This is my section title, header, and this is my footer. So whatever you can apply your titles. So each cell is separated with a line. So you can see that, and accessory type is arrow. Here if you observe, this is my accessory type. You can see your image which applied. This is your label. This is your subtitle, detailed text label. So such a way you can see a W cell with the image, title, and subtitle and an accessory. So this is your default UI table view cell. So you can reload the data. You can present with UI table view data source protocol, and we passed one height, so we can able to see that. So this is the height. This row is more height. This is less height. More height, less height. More height, less height. All even rows are having one height. All odd rows are having a different height, because when we design your height for row index path, we check that which section 0. If the section is 0 and the index path is even, then the row height should be 120 or else 80. So we can see this difference only for section 0, means my first section. When coming for the second section, so this is my second section. So all rows are having same height, that is with 80. So you can customize, so which section you want what kind of details. So you can create your cell the way you want. You can give the number of rows per section. You can apply how many sections you want. You can give the title for your footer. You can give a title for your header section. You can give a height for your footer and section. So this is the way you can create a table view. So if you want to reload a table view, so there is a method called reload data. So this method, whenever you call this method will do all these methods in a cycle mode. So it will automatically call all the methods again, so that if there is some change in these collections, so that change you can able to see that. So this is where the reload data will be used. If you want to refresh your table view, you can refresh by calling a reload data. Whenever you reload, so all these methods again will get fired. While the user is scrolling your table view also, these methods will be executed for every time. So now my cell is designed. Okay, so well and good. So now how can I identify my selection? So either I selected this or this or this, which user is selected. So you needs to identify which one the user selected. So in order to identify that selected cell, we have a protocol UI table view delegate. So that protocol is providing such some methods which gives a notification when the cell is selected. So for that we have a method called table view did select row at index path. So this method will be fired whenever you want, whenever a cell is selected. If the cell is selected, then this method will be fired. So I want to identify which row it is. So which row the user is selected. So you can display the row number and section number. Now you can see 1, 3. So this is the way like you can able to identify which row the user is selected. If you want to display the section, you can display the section. So at a time you can see these many rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So the 6 rows, the 6 memory allocations were done from this table view. So these 6 rows will be reused. So now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we are able to see 8 rows. Then it's increased 2. Then it's created 2 more. Means max number of memory allocations for this table view cells are 8 memory allocations. So these 8 memory allocations will be reused when we display the another section data. Once the user is scrolled, we can able to identify, and we can able to identify which rows are visible rows, which rows are non-visible rows. So the table is having a certain methods which gives you the control what methods are visible, what methods are invisible. If the user is reached visible methods, so then we can reload the table view. So if you go for this method, you can identify with will select, will deselect, should highlight, or did unhighlight, how you want. And mm, you can see certain methods. You can reload either section, or you can reload a row, or you can reload a column. You can reload a whole data. Anything you can do that. You can get a specific row based on your index path. So which index path row you want, you can get it. You can see title for header, can edit, can move, section titles, commit and move row at index path. So this returns your index path object. So as I said, this index path is having two properties, section and row. So there is a method called visible. Mm, so you can use this method read only. It gives you your visible rows, which rows are visible. So when your index path scrolling was reached that row number, you can refresh your table view with a sequence call. So you can get this table view cell. It returns your all visible rows, means how many cells are visible. So this returns you your index path scrolling position. So when the user is scrolled, on which position the event was, so that you can identify with this method. If you override, this notifies you with the scrolling point. If you override this method, it will gives you your scrolling position with animated or not. So, so it returns some certain methods. So you can use that. If you want to edit your table view, so for example, I want to give some view for footer. I have a title. You have seen in picker view. So we given a picker view with title and picker view with image. So similarly, you can fill a footer with a title and with a view. So this is view. Previously we displayed with the title. So now you can see. So each footer is having some different and footer something like that. I specified the height table view row height and given the same. Now you can give something like this. Mm. You can give the table view section footer height. Whatever your footer height is having, you can give that. Given a background color. Change this frame. Still we are not able to see that. Your footer height. This is the width and height. Mm. Why you are not able to? What is the footer height? So I specified 100. Let's specify with 50. You can see that, but label we are not able to see. What's the label height it was? Hmm. Display this. Now it's a 1. Label height is become 1. W, what is the section footer height? There is something mismatch. It's not applying maybe. Footer height is coming is 1. But we applied how much? The footer height we applied 100. It's not height for footer and section. So we given 50. Just give the same height here. Now checking for all. It's still 50, but it's not applying that height. Now you can see that footer with a view. So whenever I scroll that, you're able to see it's still reloading. But every time we are creating memory allocation. So here also you need to check to reduce the memory allocation for this section. So you need to, we can do that. So like reduce memory allocation for table section. So this is the way like you can design your customized footer, and similarly you can design your customized header also. Now I want to edit my table view. So make your table view editing S property and override a method editing style. So which edit you want? You want insert or delete? You can give anything. So I use like in a random order for all all even rows should be insert. All odd rows will have a delete edit mode. So first I needs to allow can I edit it or not. So you needs to override a method can edit a row at index path. So if this method is S, then it allows editing and how you want. So there is a one more method. Once the editing was done, so it gives a notification for this method. So which editing style you applied? You applied edit, delete or insert. So on which row it is. So it gives you your index path and as well as your which editing style you selected. So we are comparing that whether the editing style is deleted, then remove one object, and if it is editing style insert, add one object and refresh the table view by calling a reload data. Let's see how it works. So now we can see that plus insert, insert. Now we can see the cell has been inserted, cell has been inserted. Now this row, we can how many inserts? We have done different inserts. So you can see all inserts objects in this table view. So these many times I inserted the data. So each row here plus or minus based on my logic. So here I given one logic. If the cell is even, it should be insert symbol. If the cell is odd, and it should be delete symbol. So based on the index value, if it is even plus, if it is odd minus comes. If you want to delete, select this and click on it. Select this and click on it. So you can delete. So what we are doing for each deletion. So what we doing that for each delete. So whenever you click on commit edit, so once you done the editing style, it comes to this. So if style is deletion, just I'm removing one object at last. So here you can do that. Whatever the index, it gives you your index path, which row you are deleting. You can delete that as well. So I am deleting the last object, whatever is there. If you want to delete, you can delete. Remove object at index path dot row. So whatever the row you selected, want to delete, it will get deleted. Delete. Now 2 got deleted. Now you can see that 0, 3, 4. So these are the. So whatever you want to delete, I want to delete song 3. Just delete it. Song 4 deleted. Song 5 deleted. Song 6 deleted. Song 7 deleted. Song 8 deleted. Now I want insert. Insert, 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 insert. So you can do that as how you want to increment or decrement the rows. So whenever you do that, so you need to allow this method to be s editable, and you need to use this method to identify the changes. You need to reload your table to see that change on your table view after you scroll the table view. Now there is a one more functionality is called if you want to swap the cells or not. So swapping cells, you can use two things. So how you want to swap? I used table view can move index can row at index path or not. So if you can we swap or not? So I said like you can swap. So and based on that, you can use it whether you want to swap it or not. So now let's see. So if you override this method and return as if the table is in edit mode, you can see one button over here. Now you can swap it. If you select this symbol, you can able to swap. So such a way you can swap it. So but after refresh, Just I'm changing that. Means I'm not doing that permanent swapping, but you can able to move it. If you want to permanently change that, you can change it. So permanently, if you want to swap, then here you need to apply your logic. So this gives you your destination swap index and your currently moving object, which object you are changing for position. So that object where you dropped that ending position. So if you want to change it, then you can change it. So I would like to change. So because I know that array songs is having all the values, you can replace object at index with object. So I want to replace object. I know my index path. Replace object at index. Row with object. So with object here you can take it array of songs object at index source index path dot row. So whatever my source is saying, so I would like to replace. So that object is got replaced. So you replaced one object. So whatever the object is there in this position is got replaced with this. Replace object at this position with this object. So I replaced. Now similarly you need to keep somewhere which object is replaced. You have to swap it. So for that, which object you want to swap? So this position object is getting swapped. So first you need to collect that object. Object at index. So we know that this object now is changing. Then replace object at index. So at this position and with object, so this object. Now the table view objects got swapped. So now even if you refresh, so it will get updated automatically. Now this is 1 0. Now you can see that 1 is on top and 0 is on bottom. Even if you reload the table, even if I move it, I able to see that change. Now I want to change it. After 5, I want to see my second. So where is this? This is the second where I dropped. So such a way you can do the swapping of elements. So this is like swapping of rows and editing the rows, deleting and inserting. If the table view is at edit mode, if the table view is on edit mode, you can do all the things. If there is by default editing is no. So if the table is there is no edit, so you cannot see anything. There is so still you can swipe it. So it gives you certain options. So if you want to, you needs to handle these methods. So to delete. So even if this is not an editable mode also you can able to, if you swipe you can see that, so it will get called that delete method. So on the delete method we are deleting the elements, so you can able to see it. Now swipe right, swipe to left, then you can see the delete button. When I click the delete button, so we override this method, we're doing something, you can able to find it here. Now this is called, here I'm doing some action and reloading the table. Now we are able to see that change. So you might have seen this functionality from your iOS applications. So this is the way of table view design. So now if you want to customize this cell, you can customize this cell if you want. So the customization in the sense, instead of your table cell, here you have to create your subclass of your table cell. Now I would like to customize something. So I know there is a custom cell which is a subclass of UIW. Now I want to use this. Now you can replace, this is my custom cell class, copy it, and if you want to replace, you can replace. Instead of table cell, apply your custom cell. It's a subclass of table cell. If you see, it's a subclass of table cell. So I added one more button. One button I added on the table view, and I'm handling with one action. So if you want to customize, I'm giving a title, click me. So here you can see that there is a one more button is customized. If you want to customize this, you can customize with number of elements changes. Click, you can see that button clicked. I'm able to see my action. You can get your action. So you can check your action on your customized table cell. So this is the way, if you want to customize your table cell, you can customize with creating a subclass. So this is the one of the method of a UI table cell. If you override this method, you can able to see that. So this is about your UI table views in your table view creations and all with your Objective-C in iOS. So this we will use in most of the times. So you might have seen these images will get refreshed in most of the applications. So for that we have to use a lazy loading concept. Means you needs to get your URL of your image view and you needs to download one image and needs to attach to this. For doing that, you have to use your GCD and blocks approach here. So I explained you the GCD, how to create a threads in GCD and how to create a synchronized and asynchronized threads and queues. So you have to apply that approach and you have to use your NS URL session objects to download any data, which I explained also how to download a data from web service. So you have to use that. So the combine these two concepts, you can able to get this. So this is about table view. So is there any questions as of now on table views? Okay, if you are good, then I'm good. Okay, so this is very important concept. If there is no table view and there is no well memory management, we can see the most of the places we use table views. So now let's start with your user interface design from storyboard and XIVs. So now this is my one custom view cell. So if I want to design this cell from a drag and drop, I can do that. Let's add a new file. Use your XIB for it. So where is that XIB file? Go to the resources, user interface, select the view which you want to, or this is the storyboard. If you want to create a storyboard, you can create it. Okay, create one XIB. I'm creating that. This is one XIB. You can see this is one XIB. Here we have a concept of size classes. So with any, height any, this is called size class. This is regular, height regular and width regular, any layout. This is for regular width. So this is like any, like for all base values, for all layouts. If you select this, so this view is visible and applied for all the devices, iPhone and iPad and all. So what are the supported? This is for all device layouts. If you select this layout, so regular height layout. So if it is like regular height, then you can see this works for iPhone in portrait and iPads in portrait or landscape. So it works for iPad both orientations. iPhone is only portrait. If you select this regular width, so if you select a regular width, then you can see iPad in portrait or landscape. If you select this compact width and compact height, then we can see this works for iPhone landscape for 3.5 inch, 4 inch and 4.7 inch. For which devices you want, you have to select this. This is compact height layout. This is your regular width and compact height. This is your regular width. This is with your regular width and regular height. Regular width and compact height. Regular with compact height. This is like your compact width and compact height. This is for all layouts of iOS on both orientations. This we use most of the times. For everything, most of the applications, we use this one. If you want a specific, you can apply it. Now, this is my view. So, what is the subclass for this view? Check this here. Open it. So, what is the subclass? So, UI view. Let's change to UI table view cell. So, this is my, right now it's a UI table view cell. This is a one of the table view cell class. So now I want to use this. Let's create your cell with a different design. If you want to reduce the height, you can reduce the height. So what is the height you want? So by default, I created with a let's when frame. Now let's create a label. I'm using one label. Let's use one segment controller over here. So this is like one design which I want to do. So this is one design applied on this. Now I want to use this design. So what is this class? Let's give this class instead of table you cell, give your cell custom view. So now this is the view will be used by your cell custom view .h and .m. If you look at, these are the three elements are designed in this table view. So if you want to use, so this is the name. Let's do it. No, there is no view. Cell.xib. Now I want to create a memory allocation for this. You can go for this. This is my table view cell. Come to this style and change that style. Cell.xib. Let's use this cell.xib here in my. Let's get that view. This is one of the custom cell class I would like to use instead of init with style. Alloc init with. So before that, get a view from there. UI nib. So this is your xib. So you can use this UI nib. Nib name. So what is the nib name? Cell. So what is where it is in my bundle, main bundle, where it is. It's with your nib name. It returns your nib. Now you can create one view. Your table view cell. Alloc init with frame style or go to your view and you can see for mm, init with frame. Else, there should be some method we can use for this to getting a view from your xib. View from nib. Mm, Search for it. Can use this nib. This is the place where you can get the help. If you want to take the help from, so you can use a method called load nib named. So this might give you. mm, mm, load nib named. What is this? let's see now. So here our objective is to get a view object from the XIB. So this is my XIB. So this XIB is having one graphical object. The graphical object is a subclass of UI table view cell. The graphical object is a subclass of UI table view cell. Now I want to display the data which is there on my graphical object. One second. Which is there on my graphical object. Now you can see this is my graphical object. Is having elements label 3 elements. It's having 3 objects. I want to use this view as my custom cell view. Where it is my custom cell view? This one. So my table view cell wants to display that user interface which is there on this XIB. So this we will call it like a UI nib is one of the class which refers to your XIB. So I want to get this file from this bundle and I want to use this view, this UI table view cell as like my table view cell of the UI table view. So this class will represent your XIB file. So I want to retrieve my XIB file. So I use UI nib with nib name is cell and from bundle. So it is there in my current bundle. So I mean the NS bundle main bundle. It's refers this object now refers to this file. So I want a view. So this XIB is having only one object. If you see, this XIB is having only one object. This is only one view this XIB is having. So this view I am getting. So this returns. So this object I would like to know how many objects are there. So I am using this method. This method will return you the number of elements which is there in this view. So this X object having only one object. So I am retrieving object at which located in index 0. So through which you can able to get this cell. On this XIB you have one object. This is 0 index object. So this 0 index object is a UI table view cell. So I am retrieving that cell. I am attaching that cell to UI table view cell. So now you can use this object as your UI table view cell. Let's see how many times this is get called. One, two, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, seventh time, eighth time, ninth time, 10th time. Oh my god. It's every time it's getting called. So every time it's getting fired, so just do one thing. Set reusable identifier. Or else we can register a nib file. It's a reusable identifier. The reusable identifier is this one. You can register it. Then to reduce it. I hope this might work. You can see this is fired at only one time. So previously this method is used to call many times, but now it is fired at only one time. The second time onwards I am using that method, same reusable identifier. So this is the way like you can able to represent an element from your XIB to cell. Have you understand what is this UI nib refers? This UI-nib refers to your XIB file. So XIB file is one of the graphical file where you can make your drag and drop. So this alignment, if you want to do, either you have to code it, you have to create a label, later you have to add your segment controller and all. So the same thing which I done on the XIB. So I would like to use this XIB in my code. So you can directly get the file of XIB and register to your cell so that you can use it. So this is the way of so registering one of the table like or else getting one table view or getting one object view object from your XIB. So do you mm, let's see what it is. It's now it is fired. Now there is no. Mm, this is the one way of retrieving a view object from XIB. You can retrieve any object if you want to there in the XIB. From XIB, if you want to get a view, so this is the way. Get your XIB object through which get your view, which is there on the XIB. So, hmm, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time. So every time it's getting called. So if I want one time, then register that nib. It will use for reusability. The first time, for the second time onwards, then it refers to the same file which is there in that location. It won't refer every time. It will register that nib as a cell. So we understand this concept. What is the UI nib? Why we use that UI nib? Okay, fine. So the UI nib is basically used to get a file from your XIB. So previously we used to do code and have to apply the same, but instead of that you can directly register the things and get from that XIB. So now let's go for some more coding. Now just do one login design. Simple login page. This is my storyboard. So this is my view. This is for all. This is applied for all. Now I want to create one login. Take your label, drag and drop at some position. Apply that. Username, password. Take your text field, put it here. Give your placeholder. Username, password. Now I want to display this data. So in order to keep these elements here, so this I want to represent this view for all the devices. So here you have to use a constraints. So constraints in the sense this object where it needs to be located at this point. So From vertically, how much distance you want from the super view. Select this, se- select control button and drag, and now select the vertical space. It gives the distance. From here, how much distance you want. So this is horizontal distance, leading space, how much you want. So what is the height you want? Select it and drag and drop. It's the same width. And what is the height you want? Height. So this is the width and height. So what is the gap you want? Same vertical space, same leading, whatever the width I define, and same height. So this where it needs to be. Base align as the same alignment, or else how much distance you want from top and how much distance you want from tail and how much gap you want from this and what is the width and what is the height, and do the same. Base alignment, vertical spacing, or else the horizontal spacing, back, what is the width, what is the height. So you can do this. Now this looks better, and so we defined something. Let's select this and go for automatic. Select your preview. 4 inch from top. What is 4 inch? What is 4 inch? The username and password. Some label. I didn't get you what you're saying. 3.5 inch or 4 inch. You can use any device. What is the issue? So this is the difference, right? The distance you can keep it with some constant value. So it gives you that what is the distance you want. I want 30 pixel from top. Select it. So how much distance you want? Give it some 20 pixel distance from X. Now you can see it. Now update the frames. Go to here. Select the view. Or else select all four. Go to this. No, there is somewhere conflict is coming. Give this distance to some 20, some top. You want this is having something base alignment. We given somewhere. Delete this constant. Password length. Leading. Top level. Okay. Trailing. Trailing. The vertical space. Apply this. Update the frame. Now it will move where exactly it needs to go. Now it's moved. Let's check it how it display in a different device. How would display for different devices? Go to this atomic preview. Go on your storyboard. So if you run this in iPhone 4, it will look something like this. So now what you need to do, you have to make sure how it needs to be. Select username, update the frame, select the password, and nope, it is fine. Now what is the distance you want between these two? So give some distance, horizontal space between these two elements. So there is some distance, so but the distance is too much. We're not able to see. Mm, so what you can do now, leading username dot leading, and it's giving some, put it some 10 pixel. So it is giving some conflict. So just because the trailing is given for username trial, just delete this. Now you can see, give some distance, horizontal distance between these two. Just I'm making that some constant value I'm applying. Give some 10 pixel. So it's giving one more conflict. Delete the conflict. This is some distance and this is some distance. Now go to your view and check for the preview. And now it looks something like this. Still you have an issue, just update this frame. Add for 5.4 and 47 inch. 4.7 it looks something like this. Check for 5.5 inch. 5.5 inch it looks something like this. Check for 3.5 inch. So 3.5 it should look like some. Check for orientation, how it looks. Check for orientation, how it looks. Check for again the orientation for 4.7 inch. So this is the way, like if you use constraints, you can set how you want, how much gaps you want, where exactly you want to display, and all the things. Just close it. Now run this. So I'm running in 6 plus. We know that how look and feel of a 6 plus. So this design you are already aware of it. Now I want to get the control. So I apply this delegate. So this text field delegate. Right click, you will get a delegate option. So give it to self. Select this. Apply the delegate option. Give it to self. Now done. I want this object in my view controller, because since this is there on my same view controller XIB. Select this. See which class is referring to this object. Go to this property, and here you are able to see that class name is view controller. So now this XIB is represented by this view controller class. Now I want this to be controlled. As I said, I applied the delegate. So text field delegate. Just override here. Now I want to resign this. So I want to resign text field should return method. It needs to override to hide the keyboard. Text field resign first responder. Apply this and return as. Now you can use some look and feel. What is this? Something written. It's hidden. Something. If you click on return button, it comes to this method. Now it's came. So this is where you able to. Now I want to give some default names in that text field. I want to get this object inside of this class. So create your IB outlet objects. So give your property as a weak IB outlet UI text field. Username IB outlet text field password. Now connect these two to storyboard. Select your class. Now you can see two. This is my password. This is my username. Just drag and drop and close. Now I want to give some name here. Just you can give it self.text field password.text. Welcome is my password. Username dot text. Username is iOS. Now I want the password entry in secure mode. Text field dot password dot secure text entry make it S. Now this features is applied to that objects in the XIB. Let's see whether is it applied or not. Now you can see once the view controllers get loaded, you can able to see iOS on username and you can see something on password which is in invisible like in secure mode. So if you rotate this, now you can able to see. So if you run this application, it works in all devices. We're running with 4S. We have already seen how it looks on 4S. So now there is no frame. The frame is assigned based on your constraints. From top, left, right, and width and height of the elements. We're able to see. So this is still it's not adjusted well. So we have already seen this issue when we look at the preview. So then we need to correct it. So I want to fit this as it is. So you have already given one distance between these two elements. Now keep your tail exactly. So when you keep your tailing space, now I want my tailing space in a different manner, such a way I want 10 pixel. Now you can see there is some conflict. So this is my tailing from the edge 10 pixel. So when you give tail, so it is having one more property called width. Fixed width. We already given 184. Delete it. It will get resolved. Delete again the width because the width you are defining based on your frame. Update the frame and okay, it's updated. Now you run this. You said like from the edge you need 10 pixel gap. Whatever the device it is, I want 10 pixel, so I got 10 pixel gap. The width is auto resized. So here with constraints used auto resized. So for orientation, you want something like this, you can able to see. Okay, just take some 15 to 20 minutes uh, break. So we'll be back. So have you understand this? The constraint. If you apply constraint, how it fits for all devices with auto resize classes. So after 20 minutes of like we will meet at and so we'll meet in 20 minutes and we'll look at size classes. If you want to change the layout when it rotates for orientation to landscape to portrait, so we'll see that is as well. Yes, we'll in 20 minutes take some 20 minutes break. So we'll start again. We'll do something specific to portrait and specific to landscape. So now this view, let's create. This is for all layouts. Now I want this is for only.
Hello, Suresh.
Yes.
Can you, there is no screen available.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So this is for all layouts. Let's change this layout to portrait or landscape or only portrait. Now this is for iPhone landscape, compact width and compact height. Let's add one compact width and compact height. Mm, Go to this. Mm, we can see somewhere. Mm, Compact with compact height. Mm, just add one more. Any width, any height. This is like basic one. Any width, any height. Mm, so if this is compact with compact height, now let's add one more. Any with regular height. Where is this? Any with regular width and any with any and height regular. regular height. This is regular height, regular width. So this is for iPhones in portrait and iPads in portrait and landscape. Let's see, all these are mm, now let's move. Mhm. Mhm. You can make sure that for this constant is applied for which installation. Now it is applied for any width and like a regular any width and regular height. Now let's move this any width and regular height to any width to any height. Now this is for any width and any height. Now let's add a compact width and now this is for okay iPhone, iPad, and portrait. iPhones in portrait, iPads in portrait, and let's give this for you can use this constants. This for any with regular height. Now portraits. Now I want landscape. iPad or this is iPhones in landscape. Compact width. Compact width. Compact height. Compact height. Regular width. Compact height. With any height compact. With any height compact. Let's add with any height compact. Any with height compact. Now this is for any with regular height. Let's okay. Some plans. Okay. Text field. So now you can see this any with and regular height. Now with any height compact. Now move for with any height compact. With any height compact. Now you can see all the constraints are become disabled. So when it's come to with any height compact, there is no constraint is assigned for this. Now these are all no constraint as of now. Now what you can do, do one thing or else make it let's make it mm, vertical spacing, leading spacing, width okay, height okay, vertical spacing, leading spacing, width, height and heights there, leading spacing, vertical spacing, leading spacing, vertical spacing, width. Width and height, I fixed it width and height. So before that, this is the width. Just remove this width. Now make this width to driving space. Some done constant. And remove this. And now what is this? iPhones in landscape. And this is portrait. This is landscape. So have you got it? How we changed? You can see the different layout for landscape, different layout for portrait. So this is the advantage with size classes. I hope you are clear how best you can use the size classes. Have you understand? Okay. So this is about your constraints and with storyboard. So if you want to apply for any other components, you can apply it the way you want. So I applied with some constant and constant fixed width and height. If you want to give some percentage, you can give a percentage. So how much percentage I want? Go for your constraints and select it. You can see the constant and multiplier. Here this is 1 is nothing but 100%. The text field username top is equivalent to username bottom. From first element from this to this, it's equivalent 38 pixel between these two. The text field username top is 38 pixel gap from the username bottom. So instead of this constant, if I want to give some percentage, so the total screen is 100%. I want to give some 10% gap between these two. Here you have to apply your 10% gap. How exactly you want, you can use your multiplier for percentages. I will tell you that later how exactly it needs to be. but this is the way you can use your constraints. If you want to change your constraint, just keep some constraint IV outlet, NS layout constraint to do this. Okay, then mm, I will tell you that how the constraints works in programmatic way. Mm, mm, something to explain you. Yeah, how to write a constraints in programmatic way. You have your storyboard. This is your image assets. You can apply your 2x and 3x images which you want to apply. Then you can apply these things. So let's see, if you want to do coding wise constraints, how to do the coding wise constraints. First of all, create your views, and this is the view. The two views I created, I added two views to self.view and apply this auto resizing mask into constraints no. So make this no so that your constraints will work. So the auto resizing will works based on your constraints. So then I am using this. Now I would like to apply the constraints. So the constraints can be applied with NS layout constraints class. So this layout constraint class, I created one dictionary, keys value. This is my object. So I want to apply one constraint on this object. So NS layout constraint with visual format. There are two methods. One is visual format method, and the second one is layout constraints. There is a one more method where you can do constraint with item. So we applied this one, constraints with item. This is your first item, two item. This is your last item. So there are the two methods for NS layout constraints object creation. One is with format. So let's see how to apply the format. So we have one view. So how much height you want? So I said like 100. This is you want how much width you want, like 100. So I created two constraints. There is no options. There is no metrics. Just I pass the view object, view dictionary, which is having the view object. So vertically 100 pixels from top, horizontally 100 pixels from left. So this is y position, this is x position. So 100 my origin. So I attach it to this. Later I need to define this is size I define. Now I need to define the point. 100 height, 100 width. Now I would like to go for point, define the point. So point we can define by using the visual format, something like this. How much distance you want from y-axis. So to this view from root I want 30 pixel. So this object which is in this view dictionary, this is your key. It indicates your name. So I'm giving 20 pixel from x-axis. So there are the two constants I created, two constants towards size for the view and two constants towards origin for the view, red view. So now I'm adding that to self view. So from this self view, how much distance I want? To this view, what is the constraint? Width constraint, height constraint. I added width and height constraints to this self object, red view, and later assign some origin from the self view. So if you run this application with your example, now we can see how this NS layout constraints works. If you want to apply programmatically, then you can use that. Now you can see this is your view. So this is different. So this is a different one. So I used this one. So you can see that this view is having 100 with 100 height. The origin is from 2030. So this is origin. Now visual format for multiple views. You want to add multiple views. Add another view to your dictionary. Create a dictionary with objects and keys, and create your layout constraints with visual format. So what format vertical side you want. So just keep in mind what is your graphical representation at the rate v followed by the colon, and give your key value. My key is red view. So how much height I want? Give it 150 if I want. So this is one. So create one visual format. So visual format. Do you have options? Nothing. I'm not giving any option values. Options is contains what kind of format options you want. If you want to go the layout format options, you can look at layout formats options. You want left, right, alignments wise. So you can check your layout format options, which format you want. This you have already seen. Direction from left or right, and what kind of option you want. So there is no option as of now. This is size constraint. So I said options are 0. 0 will start with your initial one. With 100, height 100. So there is no matrix array. There is no matrix dictionary. I attach to the red view. Similarly, for yellow view, I define the width and height. Now I needs to attach these two views to self view. So the visual representation for the two objects. So red view should have 30 pixel from Y, and yellow view should be 40 pixel from red view. Red view is having 30 pixel, yellow pixel should have 40 pixel, and this one red view should have 20 pixel from horizontal x-axis wise 20 pixel gap, and the yellow view should have x-axis wise 10 pixel gap. 10 pixel gap between these two. From the red I want 10 pixel gap. From the red view I want 40 pixel gap. Let's see. So how exactly? Now run this. You can see two elements. One is yellow view, the second one is red view. Now you can see that this element, this is my first element, is having some different width, 30 pixel from Y and 20 pixel from X. This is, as I said, 40 pixel from Y. Between these two, the gap is 40, and the overall from here is 30. Overall 70 pixel gap from the top. The horizontal between these two, the horizontal is 10 pixel. Between these two, horizontal gap is 10, and from initiation 20. Overall is 30. Yellow is having overall 30 pixel from horizontal and 70 pixel from vertical side. That is 70. Is this the one? So yellow view, you can see that horizontally the gap is 20 and 10. Between these two is 10. So between these two is 10 pixel gap in horizontal. Between these two is 40 pixel gap in vertical side. So here you can see that the relation between these two objects, how you want. So yellow view should be placed with 40 pixel y-axis difference between these two, and yellow view is placed between 10 pixel x-axis wise difference from red view. So you can able to see that. So how the visual representation layout constraints applied between two objects. So now attaching this constraint to self.view. Now these constraints, if you see, these constraints are added to the self view for this red view and yellow view. Let's go with another example. Visual format with options. Now you can create your options. Now red view and yellow view. This is same height and width. Height and width. Now define 120 pixel from red view, and now we applied options. Align all bottom. I said means these two objects should be aligned bottom alignment. I'm giving a bottom alignment for these two objects. So bottom aligned. Now if you run, the red and yellow views are bottomly aligned. Now you can see that these are bottom aligned. If you want to align top, you can align the top. So this is your option. You can apply your options. So this origin position needs to be attached to the self view, so I added to self view. So this is about your NS layout constraints with visual format. So we have a visual format, we have an option, matrix, and views. So views is one of the dictionary which contains the view objects. Options is like on which direction wise you would like to attach those two relations. Either is it bottom or top or left or right, or how exactly you want that relation. So you can specify your relation type on options, and you can give your width and height, or else in the differences of distance you can use this visual format. So now let's go with another example of visual format with matrix. Now we have two dictionaries. One dictionary is having objects, the second dictionary is having all metrics. Metrics in the sense your width and height and origin, like left right margins. From leading how much, from tailing how much, from top how much, from bottom how much. So like not only width and height, you will have all margins as well. So there is on metrics dictionary, there is on views dictionary, you can define it. So these are all key and these are values. Now you define that. So same thing, this is height and width. Height and width is defined for red view, and later the height and width is defined for yellow view with visual format with matrix. Now previously you have seen in different, here we assigned value. So instead of that we have given a key name. So we given a dictionary. So this is a different format. And now options we applied, and the same whatever you have seen in the previous one, the same design I displayed with the help of matrix dictionary. So I removed all the values and I attached those values in matrix dictionary. Now we'll see. So another example. Same, so there is no big difference between these two. So the dynamic sizes. Previously we specified the size, now we won't specify the size. This is my object and matrix. So how much distance from Y you want. For this view, where is this view? There is only one view, red view. The red view from super view, I attached this X and Y positions. If you see, this is nothing but top and bottom, leading and trailing. So leading and trailing horizontal space 10 and top and bottom is 30-30. Now you can see a red view is dynamically sized. This side is 10 pixel gap, and top and bottom is, top is 30 pixel and bottom is 30 pixel. So now the size is stretched. It's similar to your layout constraints. So constraints with visual format, this is the one. Here we can see there is a matrix, there is a dictionary, and there is no size. I have not uploaded any size. So just I used, if you use this dashed representation, then you are giving spaces. It's nothing but your distance, vertical spacing or horizontal spacing. And so this is like your vertical and horizontal spacing. But if you use that is like size, width and height. So here this is auto resized constraints with constraints with visual format. Now we'll see the same example with NS layout constraints with relation elements. Now two dictionaries, one is matrix, one is views, and we defined spacing and attached. Means the object is defined for which one red view is defined. Red view is same, and now I'm defining yellow view, one more view. For this yellow view width is equal to, this is the source, sorry, this is the destination object, this is my source object. So I want to change some value for this one. So this width is equal to the width of red view is multiplied by 0.5. So this is the width. If it is 100 into 0.5, then you will get 50. So then 50, and is there any constant value? If there is a constant value, add to that. So then your width is, yellow width is equivalent to half of the red width attached to the self view. So for yellow I attach the height. Height is half of the height of the red view. So width and height is defined for the yellow view with the help of NS layout constraint with item and attributes related by two item attributes, multiplier and constant. Now the second one, width and height is done. Now you have to define the positions. Where is the origin? Now this origin, I am attaching the center. Center of x is equivalent to the red view center x. Center of y of yellow view is equivalent to the center of y of red view. Now you can see yellow will be the center of red view. Now you see the yellow view is center of red view, then this height is 50% of the red view height and this width is 50% of the height of red view. This is the way like you can attach your constraints. Have you understand how this needs to be done? So for on touch, I am using some different. Let's go to touch begin. So I am using activity view controller. This is one of the class. If you want to share something, so you can use it like reading list or contact keyboard. This is one of activity view controller. If you want to do some activity, if you want to give some services, you can use this activity. I want to give for contact and pasteboard and type print and reading list. Tap it, go for more. Nothing was there. And there is no activities. iPhone 6s. Now I use present view controller. One view controller is presenting another view controller. So and touch begin, you can present one view controller to another view controller. You can use this activity view controller if you want to share something from one application to another application, something like that. This is the way of defining. Here, storyboard, I define two views. This is one view and this is one view. Mhm. 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 Now I apply two constraints. The first is one constraint, the second is second constraint. How it reacts. Now you can see there is a constraint mismatched between. So you can apply the constraints with the help of NS layout constraints from through coding wise. Either you can use visual format or else you can use constraints with item. Have you understand? So you can use NS layout constraints to make layout constraints coding wise. Okay, then let's see the table view design in storyboard. The table view design on storyboard. So we have seen previously table view demo. Here we have seen that the table view is designed. Table view is memory allocated. Like if I say table view, we have allocated the memory for table view. Allow Unlock with style, something like that. Now I would like to add the stereo table view on storyboard. Now you can use your table view. Now this is looking so horrible. Let's do something. What's the table view you want? Now keep your constraints. Vertical spacing, horizontal spacing, leading space, trailing space. Now trailing space is 0, the leading space is 0, and top space is 0, and bottom space is 0. Assigned. Now update the frame. Now it's fit to your view. So the table is now attached. Now attach a table cell, drag and drop. So this is the table cell. Now give a name to table cell, reusable identifier. What is the reusable identifier we used here? Reusable identifier I used name is cell. Give the same name. Okay. So now we created one table. I want the table. Give your reference as a week. Create your IV outlet. Your table view. TVL view. Now attach that to this table view. You can see data source is attached. Delegate is attached. And attached to now you can see there is a table view. Drag and drop attached. Table view is attached. And delegate and data source of the table is also attached. Now we are set. Now change that. Now comment this. Oh, there is something might get crashed. If it crashes, then we'll see. Now the table is designed, but there is no data is defined on it because my table is cell is empty. Now, so this method is not called. So if this method is fired, you can able to see some data. But I'm already taking from this is created, memory is created. So this never get executed. This never become nil because I using BQ's reusable identifier. Identifier I given a cell. For this identifier, the memory is already there. So this is the memory. It's already I defined. So then it never go for that if condition block. It uses this object, graphical object. So the constraints and everything was set. So here I can use that object directly. So all these methods will get executed based on that. I want to change the table view style. Now this style is plain, so I would like to change that. Self dot table view style. Your table view style grouped. Now you can see there might be some small change. Your table style is read only here, so you cannot assign any style. If you want to change the style, you can change at the time of initialization, or else you can change from here the table style. So what happened? Style I want in grouped. So now you can see the table view style is changed to grouped. So now this is one section and this is another section. Now you can see the design in a different style format. This is the way of creating a table view memory on storyboard and reusing it. Now let's change one constraint like a bottom constraint, give some gap, 20 pixel. Now create one button. I would like to give one action for this. Click me, horizontal spacing, trial, leading spacing, height, 100 frames. Click me. Hmm. Leading and table view trailing. No. Hmm. So give this action to this button. So I would like to create one action here. So action can be created with IV action. Button clicked. This is my method. Or else you can do now. I'm changing some alpha to 0.5. Now this is not yet connected. Let's connect this. Go from here and click here. Right click. You will get event, UI control events. Touch up inside and drop here. You will get a action method name attached. Now it is attached. Now the action is attached to this method. Now we can see that connector point. So now this is a button. Click. It's called reduced 0.5 percentage. So the alpha value for the table is reduced by 50 percentage. Now we can see still the table is not set. Horizontal and vertical spacing is not at set. Still it is having some horizontal spacing gap. Superview.leading.margin. Now come to this. What about these margins? Hmm. So UI view. Let's remove this view controller. Top bar, bottom bar. Stainless steel top bar, bottom bar. Hmm. Hmm. preferred content size. Mm-hmm. You can give your written height of the screen. If you fix it, then simulator size is fixed. Okay. Mm-hmm. See, okay. Mm-hmm. Horizontal space constraints. Mm-hmm. Top layout guide and bottom layout guide. Entry point. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll look at that margins later. Okay, if you want to define something on a storyboard, if you want to refer with IB outlets and IB actions, you can use IB action for methods, action methods, like all UI control subclasses or any gesture events you can do that. If you want to add a gesture event, you can add a gesture event like UI tab gesture. So you can give this tab gesture where you would like to. You can give a action. So gesture is defined to this view, and self.view is given, gesture event is given. Now if you want to give us, if you want to give this action, you can give an action. So selector you can apply to action. Selector is button clicked. So when something happen, action. So you can use like something, you can drag and drop a gesture from any view, just you can apply it. Now the gesture is applied for self view. So if tap gesture, if you tap something on view, now I want to call one action. So you can set an action to button click. Now call this. So now you can see that I clicked out of the button, but the tap gesture is called this method. So this method is fired by the tap gesture. So such a way you can apply the gesture as well. Tap gesture or pan gestures or any gesture. You can give the gesture, recognize the number of taps you want, number of touches you want. One tap or one touch. Either or. You can give something. You can see the action as well. Action is button clicked. Gesture is given to current view. Okay, this is the way like you can create your storyboard. So now with layouts. Now let's start with the navigation bar. How can we navigate from one view controller to another view controller? For that we have a navigation now coming to navigation. So navigation is nothing but push and pop. So UI navigation controller is a class which can store multiple view controller or navigation view controller objects, and this will be used to navigate from one view controller object to other view controller object. So a navigation controller will have a view, because since it is a subclass of UI view controller, if this is my navigation controller, the navigation controller will have a one view. So this is one is a view is attached to navigation controller. So again, a navigation controller will have a navigation bar, and there will be a toolbar. Navigation bar, toolbar, navigation view. This is your navigation view. So this navigation bar will have a title and left and right buttons. One left button, and it will have one right button. Right, left, title is called a navigation bar. The whole view is navigation view, and this is toolbar. The toolbar can have any bar buttons. So it looks like something like this. If you want to add any view controller into this, then you can add it. So this navigation view can present any of the view. Here you can add any view. So this navigation view will changed with different views. So that area will be utilized to display the multiple views when the user navigating from one view to another view. Either it can be push is for forward navigation, pop is for backward navigation. So navigation stack, it maintains one navigation stack. So navigation view controller will maintain one navigation stack which holds all objects. This is the first object, and this is your second object, and this is your third object, something like that. First, second, third, and fourth. This navigation stack is having 4 objects. In the sense, this navigation controller can able to navigate for up to max 4 view controller. The first location object will call as like a root view controller. So this is your root view controller, second view, third view, fourth view controller. Like 4 view controllers you can navigate. The user can navigate from first to second, and can navigate first to last, can navigate first to last. Either it can be first to last, or it can be any to any. He can navigate from current to any view controller. Either it can be first to last. Or it can be first to second. Or it can be current to any. Like you can do push and pop. You can navigate from here to here, or else you can navigate back from first to last, or any to any. This is first, second, third, fourth. There are four controllers. The user can navigate from first view controller to last view controller, or he can push from first to second, a third or fourth. Any view controller he can push. This is like navigation stack. So I can pop from any to any. So if the user is on fourth screen, he want to go back, he can go back fourth to first, or else he can go back fourth to previous, or he can go back first from the current view controller to any view controller which is there in this navigation stack. So this navigation stack will contains always the pushed objects. This is nothing but your navigation stack. All pushed objects will be stored in your navigation stack. This is your navigation stack you can able to identify. So when the object is pushed, so this is the different view controllers. For your identification I'm saying this is first, this is second, third, fourth. So these view controllers will reuse this view of a navigation controller view. So if you are in fourth, the fourth will be occupied the whole thing. If you pop from fourth to third, the fourth will be removed, you can see third. If you push from third to another view controller, fourth, then the fourth will be placed. So something like this, if your navigation stack is having four objects in the sense, your navigation controller is having four memory allocations in backside. So the all four objects will be stored in your memory. So if I pop, whenever you pop, if I pop from fourth to first view controller, then these all three view controller will get deleted from the memory. If you pop from fourth to first, these all three will get deleted. If you push, memory get incremented. If you pop, the memory get reduced. So you can create a navigation bar, UI navigation bar. So it's having one left bar button, one right bar button, and a title. So the title you can give any string that will be displayed. This is your right bar button. This is your left bar button. Let's see. the navigation. Now this is the navigation controller. So window is having one view controller. So the view controller is added to navigation controller. I created a navigation controller. UI navigation controller allow init with root view controller. I said it's having a root view controller. The root view controller is the first view controller which is added on the navigation controller. So navigation controller is presented with view 1. So I'm setting my window root view controller as a navigation. Now my first view controller 1 will be my present view controller, which will be visible on the view. Now you can see this is my first one. This is my navigation bar. The navigation bar is having 3 buttons: right bar button, left bar button, and title. This is my toolbar. This is my navigation bar. This is my navigation view. The navigation view is presented with view controller 1. So you can see the title is first. Self.title will become your title. So I created one bar button item. So the bar button item is like your button. How you create a button, the similar way you can create a bar button. But the class name is different. Here it is UI bar button, there it is UI button. So UI bar button item, init with item, what is the item you want to add, then you can give your system name. So as per the name, it gives you one image. The target action, you might aware of what is this target action from the button class. If you want to give one action method needs to be called on this button, give your target and give the action method. There are two items. One, I want to be add button as like a right button. So right bar button item 1. So add is displayed right side. Left bar button item is bookmark. I'm added to self dot navigation item. Left bar button is equal to item 2. So the item 2 is left bar button. So I want to display toolbar hidden. No. So the toolbar is get displayed. This is your toolbar, UI toolbar. Now if I click on touch begin, so whenever a touch is touched.
Hello, Suresh.
Yeah.
Why do you use bar button instead of normal UI button?
UI button you cannot add on bar views.
Okay.
Bar buttons are only used to add any bar, any toolbar, tab bar, navigation bar. Okay.
Okay.
So the touch, if the user is touched, I want to push another view controller to navigation stack. If you want to push, what is the method? Use the navigation controller of a current view controller. So this is the one of the property. So this property refers to your navigation controller of any UI view controller. So this UI view controller is having one property called navigation controller. If this view controller is added to the navigation stack, you can get that navigation controller object. So this view controller is added to UI navigation controller nav. So this view controller is already having a navigation controller. So you can get that object if you use self.navigation controller. So I want to push this view controller to navigation stack. So use a method and pass your object. Then this will be pushed to the navigation stack. So now you can see your navigation stack is having one root view controller, latter is second view controller. Then push. I clicked, so it is moved to next view controller. So now my navigation stack is having two objects. Again I clicked. Now the navigation stack is having three objects. Again I clicked. Now the navigation stack is having four objects. So now I selected. Now it's came to second view controller. Means I popped from fourth view controller to second view controller. Now I navigated back from first view controller to root view controller. This is push. Fill your navigation stack. I want to go for root. Third to second. Second to first. This is previous. Second to third. I want to go for second. Click on previous. It's come to previous. I want to go for root. So if you click on root, it's go for root view controller. So somewhere. Now if you click on root button, it's moved to your root view controller. You popped from fourth view controller to root view controller, or you can go back to previous from third to second. You can go one forward, one backward. This is push. You can push to any view controller. Now let's see how it works. If you push view controller on touch, the navigation stack get filled. I came to view controller 2. The view controller title is second. I want to hide the navigation bar. You can use the navigation bar hidden property to S. If you use hidden property to S, now there is no navigation bar. So you can see that there is no navigation bar. So if I touch, then it will go for view controller 3. Whenever this view controller third is called, so this second view controller view disappear methods will get executed. That day I explained about view controller appear methods. These are disappear. If the view get disappeared, then this method will be fired. So every time if the view controller is already there in your navigation stack, now where we are at third view controller. Means this is second, now we are at this view controller, third view controller. Now we have two methods. Go to root view controller, go back to previous. If I want to go back to previous, use a method pop view controller. Now it will goes to previous. So from where the navigation is done, it will go back one step backward. If you want to go back to first view controller of the navigation stack, pop to root view controller, then it will go. I want to go for fourth, then click. Now it's navigated to fourth view controller, means this one. So now you can see there is a username, password, something like that displayed. Click, it came to second view controller. So from fourth I moved second, it's not previous. So I moved from, so my navigation stack is having 4 objects. Now I want to move from fourth to second. So you can navigate back from fourth to any object in the view navigation stack. So I want to go for it. So I want to go for second. So you can get your navigation view controllers by using a property view controllers. So this gives you array of view controllers. I'm checking that is there any view controller is there in your navigation stack or not. So if there is a view controller, then check that whether that view controller object is view controller 2 object or not. If this object is equivalent to this view controller 2 object, then pop to view controller. The method is pop to view controller animated. So this method will pops to a specific view controller. If you want to go back to previous, the method is pop view controller. If you want to go back to specific view controller, the method is pop to view controller. So this is the method. You can go back to which view controller you want in the navigation stack. So you have to check whether that view controller is existed in the navigation stack or not. If it exists, then you can go back. Now I want to transfer one data. Now we are able to see there are 4 view controllers and there are view will appear and disappear methods. For first time, whenever that memory object is get allocated, then only the view did load will call. So if it is already there in your navigation stack, now the second view controller is already there, first view controller is also already there. So now I want to go back to first view controller. So when I go back to the first view controller, it never calls view did load. Go back, it calls view will appear because this object is already there in memory, so you no need to load again. You have to, it is not in appear mode, so now it comes to appear mode. So it fires your appear method. It's very simple and very meaningful methods. Load means object loading. Appear means invisible to visible. Disappear means it's going to invisible mode. Visible to invisible will call disappear. If it comes to appear, then it's coming for dis- disappear to appear. So these are repeated methods. View will appear, view will disappear will get called when it is popped. So when it is loaded. But view did load method will call only one time when the view object is get loaded or when the view object is created. When a view object is created, view did load will call. If the view object is already there, then view will appear will get executed. So you should keep these points. Now you see, I'm navigating from first to second. You can see that view will disappear and disappeared is called. These two methods called because this view is no longer visible. So we are navigated to this view controller. The user can see view controller 2. There is no view controller 1. If I go back, then again view will appear will get fired of the root view controller. So you can identify these methods, keep breakpoints, and you can observe how it is working. So this is the way of view controller objects creation and navigation. So there is a class called NSUserDefaults. This class uses your disk memory to store any small amount of information which needs to be utilized throughout the application in a global scope. When your application wants some small data across the application in a global level, you can use your user defaults for that. So here the user default object is created. It's like a dictionary. It works like a dictionary, but the memory scope is global for the application. I used XYZ username and password is ABC synchronized. I want to use these values in view controller 5. So same, get the object ns user default standard user defaults, then this method will returns you the object and get the value which is stored in the username. So object for key username, you will get the username which is you passed in view controller 1, you can get in view controller 5. So this is one kind of memory storage. How you see as SQLite, this is also one kind of data storage in iOS, where you can store small amount of information which needs to be shared or which is required to shared in multiple view controllers across the application. So you can use this as a global identifier. It's like a global API class, NS user defaults. So this is about your navigation controller. So you can do this navigation controller in storyboard wise also. Hmm, you can use the storyboard based navigation also, and that's a different story. You can use storyboard based navigation controller. If you want a storyboard based navigation controller, you can create a storyboard and you can what we can do. I will explain you a small demo from storyboard. Mm, So this is one view controller. Now I want to add another view controller. So this is my navigation controller. Make this as a root view controller. Bring your root view controller point. And this navigation controller is already attached to table view controller. Delete the connection by selecting and assign communication from this to root view controller. Now the root view controller is this one. Now I would like to, so this is your SegView. So this point will call as like a SegView. Now the relation, you can see that there is a two view controllers is in the relation. Now there is another table view controller. If you want to go for this table view controller, and again you can give a manual relation to this view controller. Select push. So this symbol is represents your push. Give an identifier name. Table. Just remove this. I don't want that. Create another view controller with some different color. You can easily identify what happens in this. Now I want a navigation from here to here. Select manual and drag and drop, select push. Now give this, I want a push on action. So just keep one tab gesture for this. You can do anything like button action also you can call, but instead of that, give your SegView pointer, give some identifier name. Next. If you want to give your storyboard SegView, and you can assign your storyboard SegView subclass also, customized class if you want. Candidate push. Now I want to create another class for this. New file. Create a class. View controller 2. Select this view controller 2. Next. Create. Created. Selected the storyboard. Select your view controller and assign that class name to here. So this view controller class name is view controller 2. So what is the SegView name? Get the SegView name is next. If something is happened in view controller, I want to navigate. The navigation connection is already given. Let's use touch begin method. Now call self perform SegView. There is a method called perform SegView with identifier. So my identifier is this. Do you want to give any object? You can give it. I don't want. Then you can see there is a one method called prepare for SegView. When something happened, then it will get fired, this one. Touch begin. Something is wrong in this. Now let's move oh, I want to give an action when touch begin started. Something is going wrong for this. Duplicate declaration for method touch begin. So because it's already there touch begin. Just if something is touch was happen. See a transaction is one kind of animation. Now you can see now you can navigate from one view controller to another view controller in navigation stack with storyboard. Now you can attach it. So since the connection is already there in my storyboard, if I use a method performs a give with identifier, it will get. So I would like to see some animation. So you can so this is see a transaction. You can see something. If you want to see some animation which I applied, it's not working. So this is the way you can do with storyboard. If I want pass some value from one view controller to another view controller, you can pass a value means you can get from here. What's the destination view controller? I know that my destination view controller is 2. VCN2 view controller 2 type convert segue destination view controller. Import that. Define one whatever the value you would like to pass. Define a property. We know that why we use property. I want to pass some string value from view controller 1 to view controller 2. Use this. If it is loaded, just display this value. So you can give that value here. Whenever it's get navigated, you can display that welcome from you are passing one value from one view controller to another view controller. Now you can see the second view controller is displayed the welcome, which is received from the first view controller. This is also one way you can transfer data from one view controller to another view controller. And previously we have seen NS user defaults to do the same. If I want that launch, I want something this class. So you can select this, come to here, keep your launch screen. I want first initially my storyboard class as the initial class. So now there is no launch screen will get appeared. Directly your app will comes with you. Oh, what happened? Main interface is main. So this is the storyboard where you can do the navigation. You can create another project with tab bar. So select the tab based. Run it. Now you can see a tab bar based application with two view controller, first and second, with two tabs. First, second. If you select this is second, first and second. So this is the tab based view controller. You can create a tab based view controller template directly from single view also. Now open your storyboard how it looks. So this is your first initial point, your tab bar controller. So you can get your tab bar controller again from here also, you can drag and drop. So tab bar controller, if you want to drag and drop, you can drag and drop, you can create your own. So this is one view controller and this is one view controller. Here there is a one tab view is attached. This is like your tab bar button. You can get one bar button or a tab bar button directly. So let's create another view controller here. Now you can see this is a tab bar. Now you want to just add a tab bar. Let's create a tab bar button. Third view controller. This is your tab bar. Add it to this. Give name. Third. Give the name here as well. This gives your title. You can see here. If you want to give image, if you have, then you can give that image also. I given an image which come for second. Now this is became another tab. Now I would like to add this as a tab bar control. Now there is a view controller property. Just connect this. Now there are three tabs. Now you can see automatically it's created another tab. First, second and third. Now you run it. Now you can get three tab bar controllers. Second and third. Third there is no color and there is nothing was there. Fill some color so that you can identify whether it is really reached to third or not. So this is the simplest way to attach your tab bar controller. If you want to attach a navigation controller as a tab, you can do it. You can create one navigation controller as one of the tab bar controller. So I want to change this to navigation controller. You can do this. Now this is your navigation. What is your view controller? Second, and move this to here. Now this is my route. Apply my route view controller to this. Yes, now this is become my route view controller. Now it is having one connection to tab. Delete that. Now these are in one relation. Now apply this to now you can come to this, add this to now there is a navigation controller is having third. Let's create another view controller, give some different color, green. Now add an action, add some tab gesture. Now this is my tap action to this push. Now let's see how this tab bar controller application is got created. Second, third, I tapped. Now you can come back. So this is the way like you can simply design your navigation controller inside of a tab bar controller. If this navigation stack become more than 5, now you can see 3 view controllers. Now I would like to add another view controller. You can add. I would like to add one more. Give some different color where you can identify easily. Give some different color. Now you can see there are different controllers. Now you can attach. So tap, add. This is one. Now there are 4 items. Now add these 2 again. Now there are 5 controllers. Add one more as attached to this. Now it's become 6 controllers. Change this color. Now we have a different. Now you can see your tab bar controller is having 1, 2, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Now how it appears? If there are more than 5, it can display only 5 buttons on top. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The 5th button is become more because the total tab buttons are more than 5. So if there are more than 5, it can display 4 and the more will comes with rest. These are the next 2. So this is the way like you can do it. If you want to edit, you can edit. So these are the 5. I want to hide this second. This item I was not able to do. Just drag and drop exchange. Now exchange. Done. So now you got your tab got changed. So this is the way like you can create your tab and you can edit it. If there are more than 5 tabs, the 4 will be displayed and 5th will become more. If only 5 we have, then we can get 5 buttons. The more won't be there. More will be displayed automatically when your tab view controllers are more than 5. This is the way like to create your tab controller. So you can create one single view controller, 2 tab bar controller. Simple way. Now I would like to make this as a navigation controller. You can do that navigation controller. If you now you can see that I will change this. Yes. Now my application starts with navigation. Now my app will become navigation controller app. I can see only second view controller. What happened? Now means Yeah, this is my starting point then. Now let's change this. What happened? Now change it to add to navigation controller. Now your app will become navigation controller app. What happened? App delegate. Now you can see your application is became from tab bar to navigation controller app. So if your segue point, your starting point is navigation, then it will become a navigation. If your starting point is tab, then it will become a tab. Now your application can become your navigation stack. You can create a single view template to nav or tab or anything. So this is the way of applications creation. Simple, you can do drag and drop, you can finish it. Anything you want to display tab icons. So look at this. Show in Finder what is the size. So first .pdf. This Your view size tools. Second .pdf. Now you can see this is your icon sizes. iPad should be 76 by 76. The different sizes. If it is iPhone 40 by 40, 29 by 29, 29 by 29. On X 2X. iPhone 2X, 3X, 40. So this is the way like you can create your tab bar controller application from the storyboard. you want to go with coding also you can. The simple way, create your view controllers as many as you want and create a UI tab bar controller based UI tab controller object and add view controller property to all array. So these are 7 view controllers I created. So all 7 view controllers are created objects. So if you want to add any view controller as a image, you can add that view controller dot tab bar item. So whatever the image you want to attach, then you can attach. If you want title, you can keep the title. This title is works for your navigation title and tab title both. So tab bar controller, view controller property, assign array of view controller objects. So these array of view controllers will become tabs. So the root view controller is changed to tab bar controller. Now this application is a tab bar based app. So I want to select one tab. Use a method set select index. If I give 0, then it starts with 0th element of the tab bar controller. So if I give another value, then it will start as per that. Whenever a tab button is clicked, you can able to get a control. This is one of the tab bar controller delegate method. If you override this method, so you can get a notification to this method when a tab is clicked. So here you can get what is the next view controller, what is the tab bar controller. You can able to get a control. So simple, this is like a configuration from coding wise. If you want to do coding wise, create all view controller objects and add it in an array, pass that array to view controller property of a tab bar controller object. So attach the tab bar controller to window or any view controller so that it can become your tab bar controller app. So always tab bar controller will be added to window. Now you can see that there are multiple tabs. This I already told you that the edit option. This is the way of tab bar controller design from coding wise. If you want to give a tab bar, then give a size 30 by 30 so it will get displayed. Any 30 by 30 image can be used as like your tab bar button. This is app icon related images. 1x, 2x, 3x. This is the way of navigation controller designs and tab bar controller designs and navigating from one view controller to another view controller and displaying scroll views and page controllers, buttons, text fields, text views, switch buttons, sliders, rotators like activity indicator and table views and picker views and date pickers. And this is about global defaults and SQLite web services with NS URL sessions. So this is about, I hope you can start the app development. So if whenever you want app icon, get one image icon.png with these sizes. So then it will get updated icon.png. So now I want to use this. Just drag and drop. Now use this icon. Now your application WhatsApp. And applicable content. 128. To subject science. What happened? App icon, set icon at png one, but it should be 58 by 58. Go to this and change to this icon.png by 58 by 58. So that is 1x. Now I want 2x. Now it is a 2x image. Then run it. So now you can get your app icon. Now you can see this is your app icon. So your application is adding one icon. That you can see, if you set your app icon, it will get come. So this is the way, if you want to set an icon, you can set an icon. Drag and drop one icon with 58 by 58 double. If it is 1 pixel, the point is single pixel 29. Then make it double. 40 pixel, make it double 80. And one is 40 and one is 80. Similarly, you will get updated when there is some wrong image is placed. So it will give you that update what is the size is required. For 7 and all, it's required 60 by 60. For 7 and above, it's required 76 by 76 app icon. So this you can get your required images. This is about UI kit, and still I explained you one UI image picker controller. I think I already explained the demo. It's a UI image picker controller. This class can be used to get an image picker. Open library. It allows, and you can display. This is the way like you can get an image from your photo library. So in order to get a photo library, you have to use UI image picker controller. So this will be used to pick images from camera or photo library. So what to do? So this is the direct API. So if you want to control, then inherit that class in which this picker controller is added. So inherit controller delegate, navigation control delegate, and create your object. Check whether your device is having camera or not. If it is having camera, you can capture camera from camera. So then keep your source type to camera. And present. So how the navigation control used pushed, we can use present model view controller. So this is like presentation from top to bottom. So give your delegation. If the camera is not available for your device, then keep your source type to photo library. Then it picks from your photo library of the device. and present to your view controller. So it presents. Since the delegate methods are defined so that you will get a control when that picker is cancelled. This method will get control when image is picked. Image pick was done. Now you can see selected. Now you got select. This method is called because the image pick was done. So I want to write an image. So you will get your image object from this property. So this property is your selected image. I am attaching that image to one of the image view on my self view. And if I want to add one image to your library on your device, you can use the method UI image write to saved photo library. Then whatever the image is selected, again it will get written. So I want to dismiss this, you can dismiss. So your photo library is get dismissed. Since you use dismiss method, so if you click, it will get dismissed because the dismiss model view controller method is used. If you want to retrieve any image from photo library or camera, then you needs to use a method UI image picker controller. And for as of now, if you want to use this, for example, just copy the whole thing. Use it here. So this method is deprecated. You can use another method, present model view controller. So this is the method you have to use. The method got deprecated. It's get extended. Animate, make it as. This is block based. Now let's see, will this works or not. Allow. Now you got. So since again, let's stop it and use the same storyboard based application. So this is ours. No, this is ours. Close it. Come back. Use it. So this is one. Just use it. So that is the old one. Now run this. Can we get it or not? Even if this method is executed in current Xcode, checking that everything was fine, but we were not able to see that image picker. Here you can see one error. Attempt to present image picker controller whose view is not in the window hierarchy. It's saying that the window hierarchy is not there, but still you want to attend. So you need certain permissions for this. So when you want to use image picker controller and current version of 7.2 SDK or 7.2 Xcode, then you have to use another approach for it. It's not in window hierarchy.